Well, good morning, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and just get started. So I'm Lars Bildsten, the director at the KITP, and I welcome all of you into this unusual format. We look forward to going back to in-person for the next year's Teachers Conference, but we will be doing a survey at the end as well. We always do a survey, but this time we're going to ask a question in the survey as to whether, not as a replacement for in-person, but if we chose to add one of these as an online event sometime different time of year, whether that would be of interest. Now, of course, right now everybody's had enough of Zoom, but we are thinking through at the Institute how to take advantage of everything we've learned in the last year. So we will be doing a survey in that regards at the end. But let me start by thanking and acknowledging Maggie Sheriffs. Maggie is our KHP staff member extraordinaire who's been pulling all this together. So Maggie, if you're out there, I can't see everybody on the screen. Oh, Maggie's waving at everyone. Do you want to say a few words, Maggie?
No, I want to hear about astrophysics.
Awesome. Okay. So real quick, we will be doing some breakouts. The first breakout you see on your schedule at 9 o'clock will be two kind of random breakouts to do our best at emulating what many of you enjoy doing when we're all together, which is talking to each other, finding out what's going on across the country. So those will be the two breakouts that are starting at 9 o'clock, just random, but again, it's a little bit of what we would do on that night before the event. Many of you have been here before where we have a social mixer. So hopefully that will give you an opportunity to meet some of your colleagues who are out there. And then we have breakouts at noon, which are much more about getting more interactions with scientists. We have KHP postdocs and scientists from around the world who'll be joining us. So at every quote unquote table, there'll be a scientist there with you, and that will be playing out at noon. These are all California times. So I want to just acknowledge as well Alina and Craig, two of our KHP staff who are been managing all of our Zoom events and recording everything for the last year and a bit. So KHP has been running remote. We have been keeping pretty much all of our activities. In the year 2020, we ended up engaging about 2,000 scientists across the world with our different events. So we maintain our convening as best we can, given what we're dealing with. And the other big event this year was we had a 10,000-gallon flood in Cone Hall. So not in the room you're accustomed to, but in another room. So thankfully that repair work is done. And we also took the opportunity for the last year to shine the place up. So next time you come, it'll look a little bit shinier than it is now. Nothing like an empty building to give you the opportunity to do construction that you can never do. So with no further ado, I want to hand this over to Matteo Cantiello. Matteo had been a postdoc here at the KITP and is now a research scientist at the Flatiron Institute. And I want to thank Matteo and all the speakers for all the work they've been doing to pull this together. So Matteo, over to you.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Lars. Yeah, so welcome everyone. I thought I will just welcome you all and share a couple of slides just to get the ball rolling before we get our scientists. I hope you can see my slide. Perfect. So welcome to this year KITP Teachers Conference. As mentioned, this is a remote-only conference. We hope to come back to in person next year. The plan for today, we're going to have very interesting talks from 4 leaders in the field of stellar physics, with a particular focus on the study of white dwarfs. We'll have Mike Montgomery from UT Austin, JJ Hermes from Boston University, Barbara Castanera from Baylor University, and Ken Chen from UC Berkeley. So just a couple of, just a little bit of housekeeping for the remote talks. So during the talk, I ask you to please keep your mic mute. This is useful so that we don't, accumulate background noise, and it's going to help everyone to hear loud and clear what scientists have to say. But I welcome you to unmute you if you have a question or you need clarification. I think that the format should be informal enough that you should feel free to do so. Alternatively, you can raise your hand. I'll keep an eye on hands on the Zoom teacher and call you to ask your question. When I do so, unmute yourself. And then after you ask your question, be sure to lower your hand and mute again. As Lars mentioned, we're going to have some breakout rooms. These are going to be interesting to mingle among yourself and with the scientists. So we'll have a few sessions for this. We'll give you more details before the breakout room starts. But I wanted to just mention something that I don't think I need to mention to this crowd. You guys are probably by now the expert on this, on using Zoom and using Zoom in the most useful way to be inclusive and allow people to feel free to speak, do not dominate conversation, and be nice to each other. I just wanted to remind it. So please use the same metric when you're in the breakout session, so that we're going to make this as profitable for everyone as possible. Finally, before we get started, I just wanted to thank all our scientists that decided to spend some time to prepare these lectures and this talks and be here today. Mike Montgomery from University of Texas, Austin, Barbara Castaneda-Hensel from Baylor University, JJ Hermes from Boston University, and Ken Shen from UC Berkeley. And I want to say that these are colleagues of mine and friends of mine, but also they are world leaders in the field of stellar physics. These are really the people who are doing the science and pushing the edge of what we know about white dwarfs. When I'm in the field of stellar physics, when I need to know something about white dwarfs, these are the people I usually go to. So I hope this is going to be a useful conversation, and I'm sure we all learn a lot today. And I'm very excited about hearing the talks. So with no further ado, and unless we have any questions about the plan today, and I'll give maybe 20 seconds for people to unmute and ask questions if they have. But if not, we'll slowly get ready and have Mike get started. Mike, do you want to start sharing your presentation?